If you're thinking of arranging some supermarket spring flowers, then keep watching because I'm going to show you what you can create with a simple glass vase. Welcome back everybody, my name is Sharon and I'm back with another springtime design, and there are spring flowers coming through the supermarkets at the moment. So I've got some tulips, hyacinths and some daffodils for you, and a very simple technique that is going to help you create something really rustic with a simple container. This is a very short vase, and if you haven't got anything like this, it could be a jam jar or a plastic flower pot, but it does need to have straight sides. And I'm going to use some bark to create a textured base to this design. Now I've got a couple of elastic bands. I'm going to wrap these around my container just like so, and then I'm going to use these pieces of bark to edge my glass vase. Now this has come from a fallen down tree. We've had lots of storms during the winter, and as the tree starts to die back, the bark will come off quite naturally. So while I'm out walking, I often pick up any small bits of bark or moss that you often see. It's a bit of a fiddly job, but once you get started, it all falls into place. And what I've done is I've used the elastic bands just to hold the bark onto the container. If you don't have bark, it could be dried leaves or fresh leaves that you can forage for. Long laurel leaves work really well for this. And if you don't have the glass vase or a jam jar, think about a tin of beans, baked beans, or any type of can that you might have used over the last couple of weeks. And then what I'm going to do is keep going around the outside, adding in more of these very textural bark. And you can make these taller if you've got longer flowers. You can use different shaped containers if you wanted to, but this is a really quick and versatile way of making a different style and textured container. Now we need to think about covering the elastic bands. I'm going to use some natural string. If I wasn't filming this video, I would take a little bit more time to go around the outside, but for the purposes of the video, I shall do this fairly quickly. If you're fundraising for any reason and you've just got plain jam jars to put your flowers into, then this is a good way of upscaling them and making them look a bit more impressive. If you're planning a wedding maybe for later in the year and you want to create some table centres without spending too much money, then this is going to work really well. You just need to go out, forage around, particularly after we've had some bad weather and some heavy storms. Now we need to fill it up with some fresh clean water, preferably with some flower food. And if you're buying supermarket flowers, or if you're having anything delivered to you, or you're buying from your local florist shop, always remember to use the flower food because it really is going to benefit your flowers. Now I'm going to start by creating some height. My springtime flowers are quite short, but I have got some foraged branches and some catkins that I can use in the design to create some interesting texture and to give me the height that I need. Now you will possibly have seen me use this material before. If you haven't seen it, then you're going to see it very soon. But I do try to use materials that I can forage for as well, so that if you're in an area where you can get hold of materials, you can pop out and forage for them as well. And this is part of a series of videos where I've used the same flowers, so another reason why I'm using the same materials. So this one I think might be goat willow. This one that I'm going to use next is the alder. You might have catkins at the moment, pussy willow. Any of the willow family will be producing some interesting little catkins like this at the moment. And I'm just creating a very informal pattern allowing the material to drape over the edge of my bark. I'm not creating a set structure or a set pattern, and I'm not really following any type of rigid floristry rules. It's just nice sometimes to relax and enjoy the flowers and arrange them quite informally rather than following these very rigid patterns that I often show you. So I've got a very small piece here, and this is going to work really nicely in this little gap that I've got at the front in between the shorter pieces of bark. And you could even just arrange with these beautiful textured materials. If you haven't got any flowers, but you've got branches and catkins, pussy willows in the garden, then you can still make a fabulous arrangement. Now, the tallest of my flowers are the white tulip, and I've cut all these in one go just so that we speed up the process a little bit. And tulips, you might know, have a little bit of a mind of their own. They continue to grow once they've been cut from the plant. So these will be in a completely different position in a couple of days' time. They like to move to the light. And if you want to, you could quite easily take out the tulips in a few days' time, cut them shorter and place them back into the arrangement. They really do look quite magnificent, I think, when they go their own way and they twist and turn in different positions. Now, if you haven't arranged with hyacinths before, the perfume on these is absolutely wonderful. I've made sure that I've cut off the whiter part of the base where it's been removed from the bulb, because that doesn't tend to take up water very well. And again, I'm just very randomly mixing the colour through the arrangement. I've styled this almost as a front-facing design, so I've aimed all of the flowers towards the front. I'm not too worried about this back section here because I'm going to put it up against a wall. Now, my final flower is the daffodil, which of course is my national flower, being a Welsh girl. And very soon we'll be celebrating St David's Day, and hopefully I'll have a nice arrangement for you for that day too. But I'm just going to keep rotating my arrangement around and delicately place my very soft stemmed daffodils into the container. I'm starting now to get a bit of resistance, which means that there's not a great deal of room in the base for many more flowers. And that's normally a good indication not to keep forcing any more flowers into the base. You really don't need to overfill the base in this type of arrangement, because it'll stop the flowers having access to the fresh water and then they'll prematurely die. So I think my final one is going to pop towards the back somewhere, and then I think that arrangement is done. So again, something simple, something quite basic that you could hopefully achieve at home. Use your imagination in collecting some materials there for the base, and enjoy arranging something in a very loose and informal manner rather than creating those strong geometric shapes like you see me do before. So thank you very much for watching another tutorial. Don't forget to like and comment in the box below, because it really does help other people find us. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, because you get to see some fabulous designs just like this. Thank you for watching. Stick to the end of the video so you can see some photos of the finished floral design, and I look forward to seeing you next time. So thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.